Today we're going to look at the Outlaws, based on the 1976 Oakland Raiders. The Outlaws feature a power run and vertical pass offense, and also a good 3-4 defense that actually gets better as they hurt people. They have 3 special rules, and the special rules have rules within them, so buckle up. Savage collision, over-the-hill kicker, and just win, baby. The Outlaws only have 2 formations on offense. Far twins is their run heavy, and pro set is their balanced. Even though this team does not have a pass heavy formation, as you can see, they do have very strong pass values in their pro set. On defense, the Outlaws also only have 2 formations. 3-4 is their run heavy, and nickel is their balanced. There is no pass heavy defensive formation. When you're setting up to play the Outlaws, one thing to notice is that you've got an area on this oversized card specifically to hold win tokens. Those are little black tokens that come with the game, and they are used in the second half. Also, you'll notice that there's only one challenge flag available to the Outlaws, and it appears locked to begin the game. You can reflect that by simply putting the challenge flag on top, but actually have it on the logo side. The way that you end up flipping this and unlocking their one challenge flag is by attempting a field goal or a point after attempt. It doesn't matter if you make it. As long as you attempt it, you'll get your challenge flag. But at the beginning of the game, it starts locked. Let's start off with the first special rule, which is savage collision. Outlaws defensive breakaways actually injure their opponents, inflicting negative modifiers and earning what are called win tokens for use in the second half on offense. So let's look now at savage collision. The Outlaws, when they earn defensive breakaways, they actually create injuries for their opponent. And defensive breakaway depends on what type of play you end up getting the breakaway on. So if it's a run play, you'll hand over an orange token. If it's a pass play, you'll hand over one of the 2 blue tokens. That means that each injury token subtracts 1 from the offensive printed card value of that play type. So if the opponent is holding 1 orange token, then all of their runs are going to be 1 lower than the card value. The other good thing is that when you do a savage collision, you earn a win token and put it into the bank, which charges up your second half just win, baby. Let's pick up the action now in the first quarter. The Fire have the ball 2nd down and 4 from their own 30, and they've come out with an I form against the Outlaws 3-4. The matchup is an I form outside run versus a wide run defense. This is a breakaway for the defense. So in this case, we are going to have probably use the upper corner. And here is the game day card, and we see that it's a pancake block. We're not going to give them the +1. Instead, we're going to take the upper corner, which is a loss of 1. Now, let's take a look at what the Outlaws do. When they earn a defensive breakaway, they're going to give their opponent this orange token because it happened on an orange play. There's only 1 of these, but right now this is going to be a -1 to the run value of every play, and let's see how long that persists. The injury duration is dependent on the color of the game day card. So on a green card, it's a clean hit, which means that the effect only lasts for the current drive. A red card would be a cheap shot that would actually last for the remainder of the half. This one is a green card, so the Fire are going to hang on to this token and receive a -1 to all of their runs for the remainder of this drive. Alright, so we'll pick up the action now. 1st and 1 for the Fire later in the first quarter. They've got the ball at their own 15, and they've called a shotgun versus nickel. The matchup here is a medium pass against a blitz. So this is actually going to be a breakaway for the defense. As you can see, blitz wins against medium pass. So the first thing we're going to do, if we look at savage collision, is we're going to find out, okay, yes, it is a breakaway. So we're going to give the opponent the injury token that matches their play type, and we're going to bank 1 win token. So we bank a win token right here, and we hand them this blue token. That means that their passes are now going to be -1. But what we need to do is see how long or how persistent that's going to be. All right, So this is the breakaway card. The defense run has no impact on this pass, so instead what we're going to do is take the -1. So that means that it is a sack, loss of 1, second down, and we look at the color of this card to see what type of hit it is. If it were green, it would be a clean hit, but this is a red card. As you can see, defense run, it's a red card, which means it is a cheap shot. So that token is going to remain in effect for the rest of the half. So for all of the first quarter and all of the second quarter, all of the Fire's passes will be 1 lower than their listed card value. However, because it was a cheap shot, they will have a personal foul penalty, which means a gain of 3 lines, 1, 2, 3 for the Fire, and an automatic first down. Last thing to note is that you bank a second win token when you have a cheap shot. So they will take this and bank a second win token. A lot going on there. We're earning win tokens to power up our second half mechanism. We're handing over negative modifiers to find out how persistent they are. We're processing breakaways. The Outlaws have a lot going on, but what has happened here essentially is they blew up this play and injured someone on purpose, which creates a reduction of the effectiveness of their opponent, but also gave up a first down. Let's take a look now at the over-the-hill kicker. Field goal tries are -3, except for the point-after attempts. So we'll pick up the action now in the second quarter. The Outlaws are losing 7-0 to the Fire, and it is 4th down and 2 from the opponent's 30. They're looking at maybe kicking this field goal, especially since they have not unlocked their challenge flag yet. In this instance, the over-the-hill kicker means that every field goal attempt is at a -3. What that means is that we're going to pull the game day card, subtract 3 from the lower right corner, and that is the actual distance of the kick. Let's take a look at how far this kick is. From the 30, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need a 6 under normal circumstances. However, because this kicker is over the hill, we actually need to pull a 9 on this. A 9 is only going to come up 5% of the time, so why would we even kick this? Well, from here, if you didn't have to re-up your challenge flag, maybe you would go for it. You know, it's only 4th and 2. You could probably try to get that with a regular play. But in this instance, the Outlaws have decided that the challenge flag is more important than potentially getting the first down, so they're going to kick the field goal anyway. And the result is a 7. 7 minus 3 is 4, and of course they needed 6. So this is a missed kick, which means that they will yield possession. However, the good news is they have unlocked their challenge flag. Now we'll look at Just Win, baby. The banked win tokens activate special offense abilities in the second half, and there's quite a few of them. So let's look at the situation. It's third quarter. The Fire are winning 17-7, and the Outlaws have 5 win tokens. When we take a look at what they can do here at the Just Win, baby, they actually bank 1 win token all through the game anytime the Outlaws have a defensive breakaway or when there's a penalty against the Outlaws. In either of those situations, they're going to get a win token. And that's why when they do the cheap shot on Savage Collision and they generate a personal foul penalty, that's why they get that second win token, because it happens anytime they get a defensive breakaway or a penalty. So that cheap shot actually gives them 2 on that one play. But you can only use these things in the second half, and you can only use them when you are tied or losing as the Outlaws. Good news is that the Outlaws are losing in this situation, and so they can start using these immediately. What you'll notice is that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different things that the Outlaws can spend on. They have second effort, perfect execution, work the clock, pump fake, and snake bitten. The reason these are lined out this way is that the actual win tokens cover up the use of that particular action. So on any one drive, they can only do each of these things once. We'll pick up the action now in the third quarter. The Outlaws have come out in pro set against a 4-3, and they're losing 17-7, which means they can start using these win tokens. The matchup is a power run versus a goal line. Under normal circumstances, this would be a loss of 1, but notice they have a minimum gain of 1 before the game day card. So in this situation, it actually is a min gain of 1. We'll take a look at the game day card, and we see that it's a false start on the offense, and they can't decline it, so they're actually going to lose yardage here. Instead of that happening, though, the Outlaws would much prefer to use second effort, which replaces the initial game day card with 2 new cards. This way, they can actually see if they get a better result. So they'll pull 2 cards and see which one is better. Well, I think they would much prefer to move the pile, so instead of the false start, they actually get the minimum gain of 1 for the matchup, and they get an additional 1 for the card, and turn what would have been a loss into a 10-yard gain. Second down now, and 2 from the 40, has a pro set of deep cross, which is medium pass, against a nickel press. This is a 6-on-4, which is a gain of 2. However, the Outlaws really want to get going as fast as possible, and so they are going to use the pump fake, which means you would resolve the pass play against the run defense value. So in this instance, they're going to spend this, and instead of it being 6 against 4, it is actually going to be 6 against 1. So that turns a gain of 2 into a gain of 5. Let's see what the game day deck gives us. And there's no help here because it's an offense run, it has no impact, but the pump fake means instead of stopping at the 50, it's actually a pass down to the 35-yard line. First down now at the 35, it's 1st and 3 for the Outlaws, and they've come out with a pro set screen versus a tight run. So this is a special pass of 5 against a tight run of 2. No breakaway here, 5 minus 2 is a gain of 3. Game day deck comes out, and it's actually heard the footsteps. This is a play equals 0. The receiver short arms the pass, and so what would have been a gain of 3 is a gain of nothing. However, the Outlaws want to make sure they get that 3 yards, so they're going to use perfect execution. This ignores the game day event. No effect on the corner values. So in this instance, it's like a free challenge flag. They can just ignore that middle event, which means the pass of 5 against 2 gives them that value of 3 they were looking for, and a first down. First down now from the 20, 1st and 4. With the Outlaws knocking on the door, they've come out with a pro set versus nickel. The call is a long pass versus zone. So this is a 9-on-4, which would be a gain of 5, which will be enough for a touchdown, but it is a low accuracy pass, so we need green text. And we see that we have red text here, which makes this pass incomplete. However, the Outlaws have the ability to use snake bitten, which ignores the low accuracy requirement. So they cover that up. And now, this is no longer a low accuracy pass. It's merely 9-on-4, and because this defense run card has no impact on a pass play, they're going to complete that pass for a touchdown. Let's pick up the action now in the 4th quarter. We see the Outlaws are down 20-14, and they're trying to drive down to take that winning touchdown in the waning seconds. We see that the offense has no cards left. Their last card is actually on the board, but they have 3 timeouts. So what the Outlaws want to do is work the clock. Work the clock means that you would draw 2 offensive cards from the discard during a timeout. So they'll simply take a timeout, and they'll draw 2 cards back instead of 1. This allows them to put more time back on the clock, which means they can extend drives late in the half to go for that elusive victory. The Outlaws are perhaps the most complex team to coach in all of breakaway football. It requires good coaching to make this team sing, but they've got a lot of potential, and they play some of the closest and most exciting games in all of breakaway football. Essentially, the Outlaws kind of get in their own way in the first half. Their offense is good, but not great. They can't quite make the kicking game work, and the defense with the Savage Collision often creates penalties that create problems for down and distance and basically give their opponent a little extra yardage, which usually helps the opponent be in the lead at halftime. However, the Outlaws power up that just win baby, and as you saw, they have a tremendous amount of potential with those extra mechanisms. So the Outlaws play very tight late, and they have the ability to stun people with amazing come from behind wins, and it's a ton of fun. Go get the Outlaws today.